Hey, welcome back to another episode from Life for Living Well. My name is Richard, and the topic I have for you this week is what I call gift. But before I dive into the podcast fully, I quickly want to say if you'd like to know one or two things about Life for Living Well community, or if you'd like to know about the books that I love to read or others in the community love to read, and you think those of the book can be helpful for you as well, you can find it out on our website at www.lifeonlivingwell.com. If you also like to be a community member, you can sign up on the website as well. And if you do have one or two questions for me, you can also drop me an email by using hello@lifeonlivingwell.com, or the easiest is to use to contact me on our website forms, and then I will try as much as possible to respond back to your request or your question. So let's dive into it. So what did I have for us today? I already said it. I call it gift. And the way I normally open the podcast is to use individual inspirational words to open it. So this week, as our tradition, is to use Tony Robbins' word, how he described gift. So he put it this way: life is a gift, and it offers us the privilege. What are those privileges? One, opportunity and responsibility to give something back by becoming more. Tony Robbins. So let's now start the podcast this way by asking question. What is your gift? You that listen to me right now. What is your gift? Are you belong to the group of people that believe that they don't have a gift, or you belong to another group of people that believe that they have a life? Because they have a life, they already have a gift, and under the need of life there's millions of gifts that are hidden there, and it's only when we finally be able to unravel it, then we begin to take advantage of those gifts for our own benefit and the benefit of all being. So the question is, what is your gift? So you will not be forgiven for not remembering how gifted you are as a person. You are alive and well. If you have a good health, if you are fortunate enough to have a good health, if you are alive, you already have a gift. In the technology world, one way technology industry is so different to any other sector is because you could predict how you want things to happen in the next 5-10 years. In other sector, this is impractically difficult things to do. You can invent things. So the same thing with a gift. When you're already alive and you have a good health, you already have master of gifts. So it is your job now to begin to do things that will unravel other gifts that can support and make your life easier. Millions of people in the world today cannot read or write, which is a fact. You are able to think for yourself and be free to make choices. So you have the gift of freedom, you have the gift of choice. Some people don't have that. Just remember about millions that could not do it for many reasons. So the answer I get whenever I get a chance to ask a random person what their superpower gift is, and often lost to the point of them becoming payable. And occasionally someone is brave enough to share their inner discourse. They could say things like, "Oh, I have no talent. I have no skills. I'm rubbish. I'm not good at this. I'm not good at that. Apart from the obvious one you can see in sports, entertainment, and science. When we watch Olympic, sometimes some of the things those individuals do take our breath away. We just become speechless. But what we don't realize is thousands of hours of practice they put on into that, the same skill, talent that they display to the whole wide world. Are you ready to make a sacrifice to that level? Even if you're 80 years old person want to run 100 meter race with the fastest person in the world, they cannot do it because they physically, biologically, everything's against them. But things that we can learn, we can also develop skills in this area. We can develop gift. We can cultivate our gift in this area. One of the advantages of living in an environment like the Western world is sometimes you suddenly realize how multitasking you could be. Because if you have to pay for everything that you want people to fix in your house, you might not have the resources to cater for that. You pick a book, you pick a class to learn how to do the painting. And maybe in your life, you've never done painting before. You begin to paint in one of your room in your house just because you want to save yourself about $600. So think about things that you can learn, you can be taught, and create the time to make this thing happen. Put the hours to practice and practice and practice. Many people dream of being a musician. Many people dream of playing guitar, but they never actually read anything about it. It's just in their head. When I was younger, a child, my favorite dog at the time taught me some of the dribbles that I used to use when I now find myself play a college and elementary school football. I would play with my dogs. I would see how it trickled to hide the ball away from me. It would try to run and suddenly it would stop and I would just run past the dog. So we deploy the same tactics. Practice and practice and practice and practice and practice until it became my natural way of life. So think about things that you do every day. If you are a driver that drove your car to work, you don't longer look into where Gear 1 is or where Gear 2 is. It just becoming automatic. The same thing with the skills that you can learn. If you don't fortunate enough to discover it at birth, all women have a gift, the gift of life. And it all depends on the individual, what they make out of it. Aren't you surprised how some people can make lemonade out of lemon? And whereas others complain about lemon, we all meet people like this. You can see siblings have the same trauma in childhood, but in adult, it affected them different way. They react to that situation in a totally different way. Could it be the way we think about it? Because sometimes if you think talent means that you have to be like the fastest man or fastest woman in the world, you have to be like the James Bond of this world, or you have to be the most dancer person in this world, then you mix the point. The point is that not all the gifts will be so obvious to you. Not all the gifts will be so glaring to you. Not all the gifts that you can just rise up in the morning and it's just there. No. Someone was told me that anytime a gift refuse to work hard work will beat it. It's true. If you don't do the work, if you don't put effort to it, it's impossible for your gift to rise up. Take, for example, I always remember the first podcast that I released. It was so out of touch. But the more practice doing it, it made communication with you guys become natural. Even when I find myself in the social gathering, not necessarily have a need to express myself. It's to wanted to connect and know the other person. And the only tool that I use to do this is ask questions. And then they ask questions return about me. So, some people gift is to nurture, mimic others, to achieve success, wisdom, or encouraging people around them. So, my friend, the question is, how do you develop your gift? I really want not to overstretch this podcast too much. If you want to read the articles surrounding this podcast, you will find it on our website. Every week, we will also release an article associated with the podcast that we publish out. So the question is, how do you develop your gift? Our greatest gifts are a gift of life, and upon it, all other gifts will be built. Almost all humans have a gift. Unless you embark on self-discovery, it is often difficult to find out what exactly you are. What gift that you possess within you? What is it that you can do better than the next person beside you? In my family, when we were little, one of my siblings have knack for electronics, and he can just open the box and close it back. This particular day, he opened the TV, and for some reason, he lost some of the screw, and he couldn't fix it back. So he did a patchwork. So when father came home, out of the three in the house, he didn't call me. He called one of my siblings, because he just knew which one of us have affinity to open the box. And his God's instinct was correct. And my sibling confessed that he did open it. So the same thing, that your gift might not be so obvious like this. It might not be just curiosity to see what's behind the box. It might be something that you have to be intentional about it. You might be invented it, but are you ready to do the work to actually develop it to a full-blown skills, talent? Some people are intentional about it, while others discover theirs through adversity and challenges. As much as you do not notice the breath coming through you, the gift is buried deep inside of you. Would you let your music die when you are still alive? Don't allow it to happen to you. Albert Einstein once said, he has no special talent but curiosity. If curiosity is your gift, you have no choice but to embark on the path of learning with great sacrifices. You may well discover an unknown knowledge or bust the existing myths that created freedom to mankind. It might be your finding might open a lot of people's eyes, realize that what they believe for thousands of years is just not have any foundation, and is holding their life back, because so much of our belief can be grouped into unlimited belief, and no man is outgrow his belief. If you want to change your life, you need to change your mind. You need to challenge your belief. If you believe that money is bad, it is impossible to become rich, because you will criticize those people that use money in the way that you don't agree with. Maybe they buy the car or buy the house they want, but instead of you be happy, you will be so resentful toward it. So we all suffer when people are not contributing at the level they are capable of doing so. So if you don't develop your talent, if you don't develop your gift, it's not only you that suffer, everyone suffers, because maybe the gift that you develop could have helped thousands of people, could have helped one person, could have opened the door that's been locked for many, many years. You could have brought a smile to your face and the face of others. You could have reduced or minimized the pains and suffering of the world. Think of what you can do to make a difference today. How do you use your gift? So I'm bringing this toward the end. It is important that we be honest and direct with ourselves and keep asking ourselves this question. So those who are fortunate enough to have gifts so glaring and have the same gift propel them to stardom, these kind of people may not realize that there's millions of people that they think they have no gift. They have no gift at all. Because if you from childhood you already know that you are very good in sport and you pursue this all your life to your adult life, you might think everybody is privileged to know that kind of obvious talent. But some people might not be so obvious like this. It might be so subtle. Their gift might be ability to pick up a new craft and learn it and develop it, make it become their own. I have a friend that she's so good in cooking, even baking, and she will follow it meticulously, that she will present it in a way that you will ask yourself, is that what she do for a living? Actually, no. She have a day job, but she just loves cooking. And the more she do her cooking, the better she becomes from it. Imagine when you are privileged that such a person invites you to come to their house and they share some of their fruit of their hand, hard work of their hand, their imagination, their creativity. It makes you appreciate life more better. So, lastly, we all bring it to the end now. There are a few steps you can start today to unravel your gift. If you are still not sure what you are good at, often some gifts become better with years of practice. But first is to discover it or invent it. If you don't really know what exactly you could do, try to look around you and pick it could be a craft, it could be a sport area, it could be an entertainment, it could just be in charity. See what you can create and develop it yourself. In many cases and situations, challenges have made an individual feel the shoe they never thought they were capable of. Start your journey with a question: what am I good at? Take a feedback and question from your friends and family. The bigger your gift, the higher the challenges. So my friend, find your gift and use it for the betterment of all beings. I hope this podcast helps someone. And whatever you do this week, have an amazing one. And please stay safe. Until we meet again next week, have a great one. Ciao.